Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video, we are here to have a very quick casual conversation of this car that I've actually been driving for almost a year now. So I just hit 10,000 kilometers, and in today's video, like I said, it's going to be a casual conversation about what I think is really nice about the Honda HRV. It's the S-Pack, by the way, and also a couple of things that I did not really like. And yeah, I did do a couple of modifications to the car itself, so I'll share a bit more about that as well. Alright, so first and foremost, I think I should share with you the couple of modifications that I've actually done to the Honda HRV. Again, a reminder, this is the S-Pack, and my first modification is actually in terms of the wheels. Now it came with the 17-inch rims because this is the lowest spec model, and I felt that the wheels were just a bit too small, so I upgraded it to the 18-inch. I've got this really nice custom forged rim here with the logo of YouTube right in the middle, just to have a bit of a personalized touch. And I also changed the tires to the Ultra Contact from Continental. Overall, I would say that the tires didn't give me an entirely new experience in terms of grip. It felt very similar to the stock tires, but the 18-inch wheels definitely look way better and makes the entire car stand out a little bit more. Moving on to the second thing, which is actually on the roof itself. Now this is where I actually wrapped the roof in black. And I think for this, I wanted to have sort of like a two-tone kind of colorway for the HRV itself. So that's why I wrap it on the black. And the third mod is actually happening under the car. Now, I'll show you a quick clip about that. But I noticed that when I was driving the HRV, there was a lot of body roll. So I went to Super Circuit and actually got a couple of bars that we have attached at the bottom. And it actually made the driving experience a little bit better. I wouldn't say that it totally changes the entire driving experience, but definitely I would notice that there's a little bit lesser body roll, especially when you go on the corners. The fourth thing, and I think this is actually one of the main, a very important one, and that's actually in terms of the dash cam on the inside. Alright, so in terms of the dash cam, I thought we should head inside and take a closer look. Now basically I'm using the 70mm dash cam 4K A810, and what I like about it is that it comes with the front and the rear, and number two, it's 4K. That means that all the footages that it captures is actually super clear. Now I did a couple of tests here just to show you guys as a reference. We have a footage from daytime, we also have the night, and we have rainy, which is actually a very constant weather that we have here in Malaysia. Now the good news here is that with the footage here, you'll be able to see everything very clearly. You are able to see the number plates very clearly as well, because that's the most important thing if something happens. And more importantly, it comes with that ADAS feature, which is actually very similar to Honda Sensing. Now, my car has Honda Sensing, and you would know that when you are too close to a car, it will give you some precautionary notes. It will tell you when there's a rider that's quite near, and also when the car ahead of you moves at a red light or a green light, then it will actually give you a notification that prompts you to move as well. So I found that all these features were available in the 70mm A810, and again, this is actually the exact thing that's on my car. So it's like having Honda Sensing on a different vehicle. If you want to hardwire the kit to your car, you can also do that for the constant recording of footage. Even if you are not driving the car, say for example you park your car at the airport, but with the 4G kit, you will be able to see the footage from the car itself wherever you are. So that's pretty cool as well. Alright guys, so now that I've shown you the mods, let me talk a bit about that 1-year user experience and what I really think about the HRV S-Pack. Now if you recall, about a year ago I did the first video on this car, and I think a lot of those thoughts actually still maintain up to today. First of all, I think we should share a bit about the driving experience. How do I feel like driving this car after that 10,000 kilometers mileage? I would say that just in terms of power, definitely, because this is an S-Pack model, so there's not a lot of power. Every time you try and hit the pedal and you try to overtake other cars, it's not going to be that easy. It's quite challenging, I would say. In fact, in terms of the top speed, obviously you guys also already know it's not going to be super fast, but I would say that running back to Penang constantly was actually quite seamless. It's very smooth. It's just that the power is not that enough, and let's say sometimes you want to overtake like even my V's on the road, it's going to be a bit more challenging, and you have to really press the pedal all the way to the ground, and it's going to be very noisy. So that's the first thing. In terms of the comfort, how does it really feel like inside the car? Well, my vehicle here is actually covered in all fabric, so the fabric seats are actually fairly comfortable. They're not that hot, and it's actually a very comfortable space on the inside. Like I've been ferrying my parents, so they do feel it very comfortable at the back as well. They like the fact that it's more higher, so comfort wise it's actually quite alright. And again, not to forget the rear seats. The middle section is not really for anyone to sit. I will consider this a strictly 4-seater because the middle section, just to remind you, is super bulky, it's very hard, and it's not recommended to sit anyone at all. So that's just in terms of the comfort. Now the third thing we should mention here is in terms of the fuel efficiency or the fuel consumption. Alright, so in terms of the fuel consumption, I think this really depends on the individual and how they really drive their car. For me personally, I'm not having a great FC over here, and I think that's also partly because I changed the rims from 17 to 18. So I noticed that the FC actually kind of dropped. But just to give you a bit of a reference, if you just check the meter inside, my personal driving style gets me about 11 to 12 kilometers per liter. I don't think that's a lot. I think that's actually quite little. And some people might think that I'm flooring the pedal all the time. I do think I'm always in a rush, so that probably results in my 11 to 12-ish kilometers per liter. Last but not least, in terms of storage. Okay, so you might notice that the car is quite big. I was actually able to fit in a lot of stuff. I was actually carrying 4 huge wheels because I changed the rims, and you could fit all in there. I think the storage-wise is great, but there's one thing that I must highlight here, and that's because we have a sloping, like this rear area, so you can't really place high objects at the back. So that's just something that you should probably think of as well. But otherwise, storage-wise, it's definitely a great car for that. Oh, there's one thing that I don't really like about the HRV, and I think this applies to all specifications, and that is actually the rear doors. Now check this out. The front doors are actually very heavy, they're very solid, but for the rear, you really have to slam it to get it closed. If you just like lightly push it, it doesn't really close properly. So yeah, I don't really like the rear doors. It's just so annoying sometimes to close it. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. At the end of the day, am I happy with the Honda HRV-S spec? Well, I would say that I'm okay with it. I wouldn't say that I'm super satisfied. Overall, it's quite a decent car to drive. For the price that I got it for back then, it was really affordable. I even had a discount. I would say that the driving experience is okay. Comfort-wise, it's okay as well. Definitely, I would have wished I have additional budget to get like the V spec, because that would be even more powerful. But otherwise, I think the little mods that I have done to the car itself has made it more personalized and suits my style a bit more. And I still like the look of the overall, S-spec version, especially the grille at the front, which is different from the V because it looks more minimalist for the HRV-S spec. So that's pretty much my thoughts on this car. If you have any questions that you would like to know about the Honda HRV, the S spec specifically, do let me know down in the comment section below. I'll try my best to help you guys out. Thank you for watching today's video all the way to the end. Don't forget to drop a like and sub to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Do take care and stay safe. Bye bye.